This PPT is on business regulations for 3rd Sem BCom students affiliated to Bangalore City University. So, under the Unit 1, I am going to discuss this session 3, wherein we are going to concentrate mainly on scope of business law. And the learning objectives is to introduce the students to various business regulations and to familiarize them with common issues of relevance. And the session outcome is that students will be able to understand in depth the scope of business law. So on the recap of previous session, in the previous session we discussed about the sources of business law. So now coming to the scope of business law. The scope of business law is fairly large and it includes laws relating to contracts, partnerships, sale of goods, negotiable instruments, insurance, etc. Following are the scope of business law. So the first one you have is Indian Contract Act of 1872. So it is the oldest and most widely referred act of the Indian Business Act. This act was passed by British and it is based on the principles of the English common law. It focuses on an offer and acceptance in legal transactions. So this is about Indian Contract Act. And the second one you have is the Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881. It is an act that also dates back from the British rule that remains largely unchanged. It is an act that defines and amends the laws relating to promissory notes, bills of exchange and checks. So the next one you have is Indian Sale of Goods Act 1930. This act regulates the sale and purchase of all the transactions of a company. It is a contract through which the seller transfers or agrees to transfer the goods to the buyer for a price. The goods are sold from owner to the buyer for a certain price and at a given time. So next one, the Contract Act of Partnership Act 1932. It is an act enacted to regulate the partnership of the firms. It determines the rights and duties that the partners of the contract have to abide by to carry out the business. So Insurance Act of 1938. This act was originally passed in the year 1938. This law governs all forms of insurance and provides strict control over insurance business. It provides for the establishment of an authority to protect the interest of the holder of the insurance policy, to regulate, promote and ensure orderly growth of the insurance. The next one you have is the Indian Patent Law 1970. In India, the grant of patents is governed by the Patent Act 1970. This act was enacted to grant the exclusive rights over the invention. The Patent Act also ensures commercial returns to the investor for the time and money spent in generating a new product. The Consumer Protection Act 1986. This act was enacted to protect the interest of the consumers of India. It makes the provisions for the establishment of consumer councils and other authorities in order to settle consumers' disputes. The next one you have is the Environment Protection Act 1986. The purpose of the act is to implement the decisions of the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment. It grants the protection and improvement of the human environment and the prevention of hazards to human beings, other living creatures, plants and property. The next one you have is Carriage of Goods Act 1865. This law governs the rights, responsibilities, liabilities and immunities of the carrier and of the persons employing the services of the carrier. The Common Carriers Act was enacted in 1865, Railways Act in 1989, Carriage of Goods Act in 1925, Merchant Shipping Act in 1958, Marine Insurance Act in 1963, etc. So, the 10th one you have is Provincial Insolvency Act of 1920. This act lays laws relating to any matters of insolvency. The petition for insolvency can be presented either by creditor or by the debtor. Next we have is Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. It was enacted to consolidate and amend the law relating to domestic arbitration, international commercial arbitration, and enforcement of foreign arbitral awards. It also was enacted to define the law relating to conciliation and accidental matters. The Competition Act of 2002, it was established to prevent the activities that has an adverse effect on the competition in India. This act bans the abusive situation of the market monopoly. The Companies Act of 2013, this is the most important mercantile act. It regulates the incorporation of a company, responsibilities of a company, directors, and dissolution of a company. This act replaces the Companies Act of 1956. The Information Technology Act 2000. This is an act to provide legal recognition for transactions carried out by means of electronic data interchange and other means of electronic communications, commonly referred to as electronic commerce. It facilitates electronic filing of documents with the government agencies, and further to amend the Indian Penal Code, the Indian Evidence Act 1872, the Bankers Books Evidence Act 1891, and the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. And the next one you have is Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, which is popularly known as FEMA. It was an act passed in the winter session of Parliament in 1999, which replaced Foreign Exchange Regulations Act. This act seeks to make offences related to foreign exchange civil offences. It extends to the whole of India. FEMA, which replaced Foreign Exchange Regulations Act, it's secured to make transactions. It serves to make transactions for external trade, that is exports and imports, easier. So with this, I will come to the end of this topic. So students, there are 5 multiple choice questions. I want all of you to go through these questions and then answer. So finally, the answers are also given. So with this, I will come to the end of this presentation, and it is being presented by Dr. Dakshayani, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Rajajinagar. And a detailed description of the same presentation is given in the study material, students. You just go through it. Thank you.